Happy Saturday morning, everyone. It's your girl Shard, and today I'm going to show you how I made this 50 bill bouquet, $50 from top to finish, even my mess ups. All the supplies I use are listed in my description. All right, so this is a cone I got from the dollar store. I just use this vase to hold the things. Flowers. Just ordered off of Amazon. So pretty. Paper, I think I'm going to use both, but we'll see what looks best, once I start creating. I think it'll be nice to have two. This is a happy birthday, another happy birthday. I don't know which one I want to use. I have another happy birthday as well. These are the ones I usually use with the stick. They're just cake toppers, and I can put it down like that. But we'll see what looks best. I use double-sided tape. Here are some pins. We'll see what I use that. Butterflies. Dots. And of course, tape. Sticks. So right now what I'm doing is I am actually picking through the flowers. These are too many flowers to use for this size bouquet. So what I like to do is open them, see which ones I like together for the look, for the number of bills that I'm using. The goal that I'm trying to do with this setup is the first tier. So usually when I do the 50 bill bouquet, the goal is to do 10 around the flowers, then that's the first tier, then 15 for the next tier, and then 25. So 10 plus 15 is 25, and then when you add the other 25, that's 25 bills. Sometimes what happens is I have money left over, or I may need to add another piece, but it's usually money left over. And in this video, you'll see I have 3 bills left over. So I basically reconfigured it so that all the bills would fit in there. But sometimes if that doesn't happen, you could just let your client know, because it's not going to make that much of a difference in the side. And then I would just give them their extra bills back. So I would say, hey, this bill was $48. So here's, your 2 ones. But as you can see, I'm just going through the different assortments to see which ones I like best. So when people ask what's the process, like this is part of the process, picking your flower selection. As I've stated before, I have allergies, so I always have to use artificial flowers. So this is just something I like to do, and I have different ones. I'll be uploading a graduation bouquet next, and you can see like the different kind of flowers that I use depending on, the occasion, or, just something that I like. So right here, I was trying to figure out which flower I wanted to use for this part. I was going between these two, like to be the main sort of flower. So once you find the combination of flowers or the arrangement that you like, you can tape them together. I usually would add a stick, but there's enough flowers right here that this will do. So I'm going to tape it a couple times just to get a little sturdy foundation, and then I'll mess with the top a little bit, and then we're ready to start putting the bills around it. So you want to try to place the flowers directly in the center as best as you can. Yeah. So when it comes to placement, I usually prefer to do the setup, like north, south, east, west, or a clock, 12, 6, 3, and 9. Just mentally in my head, I feel like I do it more equal. But if you continue watching in this video, you will see that that plan kind of didn't work. And the key to when you're making these is being able to adjust and adapt. But it's just in a roundabout thing that I try to do to help with the placement. And I usually try to fit 2 in between. But if you look at how this is set up, 2 are not fitting in between that. And then if I did 2 in between, that number is skewed. But that's when I have like a bigger bouquet, when I use more flowers at the center. So, don't be afraid to adapt. Now, technically, I didn't have to move that one. I could have just fit one in that spot over there. But see, this is another not real time, but unedited. Sometimes when you're doing this, the placement is off. You'll have to move it around. Even once I get these all the way around, you'll see that I'm still going to mess with them a little bit, and that's okay. So once we get to the part where I'm almost done, you'll see me look at it, and you have to do what works best for you. So let's take a look at it right now once I put these in. And as you can see, there's like too many gaps. So it's either I need to move some around and fit another one in, or just readjust it. Now that I know what they say, hindsight is 20/20 or something like that. Knowing what I know now, I should have put another one in there, because you'll see when I get to the third row, I'm like, oh, there's a space. So I don't know if I didn't recognize it, because I was like standing up trying to do this so I could make sure that it was in the shot. And I don't know if I was missing stuff that I usually would pick up on, but hey, it's a learning process, and don't beat yourself up and keep it going. But yeah, this is part of it. So if you're making these and you find yourself having to readjust or rearrange, that is perfectly normal. It's okay. I know sometimes, like when you see these videos, everybody looks like they're doing it so easy and so flawless, or maybe they trim that part out of their video, or maybe they don't. Maybe they, get it in there and they get it how they need it to be the first go round. I'm still learning, and to me, it's okay if you need to, readjust. The point is that you get something that you like and that you're okay with, and that looks, together for you. So here I was just counting them out, and honestly, I should have just maybe used 11 in the first row. So I keep like a notebook of stuff so that in the future when I make these, I can have an estimate of how many I need. That's the other thing to take into consideration when making these. I mean, it's one thing when you're using ones, but say someone orders, a 50 bill bouquet with $200 worth. So knowing how many that you have in each tier, or shooting for a number that's consistent each time, will definitely help you come up with a plan, that'll help you work with those numbers. So yeah, I'm still messing around with this. The other thing that you can do is tape it. So like how some of them are far apart, if you look at where the sticks are at, you can sort of tape them. But I don't think I'll need to, so I didn't. So I'm on the next row. One thing I wanted to mention is whenever you are putting them down, you want to try to do it like straight up. You'll be tempted to put them in on a slant, like you see some of mine are on a slant, but it's better when you put them in straight up and down. So I hope that this view is helping you get another perspective of how I place the ones. But my way is not the gold standard. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to use the materials I use. You have to find something that works for you. So I like this cone when I'm just doing the bouquet and when it's not in a vase, because it kind of already has the handle. I used an actual bouquet holder in my first video, and it was like good and bad. The good thing is that it had the handle for you. So technically, like when I put the paper on, I didn't really have to go down to the bottom like I did, but I did, because it could have just been a handle and a ribbon. But what I didn't like about it is where you had to place the bills, like because it was sort of like a cage kind of thing. So you couldn't put it there, and it made like the shape of that one a little different. But I would try it again, maybe with shorter sticks. So I usually use the 12-inch sticks. This time I used 8-inch just to see what that was about. The 8-inch worked pretty well too. And maybe that's why I didn't have to add a stick to the flower in the middle, because it wasn't as tall. When you're using them 12-inch sticks, it goes all the way out. But further down in the video, you'll see I actually have to do the wrapping or the paper twice, because I'm so used to doing the paper for like the 12-inch ones that I started it higher up. But these sticks, aren't as long. So I needed to start the paper further down. So I actually have both clips in there. I took it off a little bit, but just so you can see, I think I have in there me correcting what I messed up. And I just wanted to be transparent with that, because sometimes that happens. So I use stuff like pins or tape that could be undone in the event that you mess up, because I know accidents or mistakes happen. So I like to have that ease of correcting it. Always count again. So that should be 25, and then there should be 25 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And those will go around the perimeter. And I usually will do the paper first, like have it ready. So real quick, here's what I have so far. So we're gonna have one more layer. My 50 bill bouquets with the flower in the middle has 3 layers, okay? So we're going to try to fit that last row around the perimeter. And once again, if you do it straight up and down, shouldn't have any issues. If you do, it's not too late to readjust. Okay, so I'm going to just speed this up a little bit because it's literally the same thing I did for the first 2 rows, except now we're on the edge, and I'm readjusting it. So I just increased it by double the speed a little bit just to get to the next part. Okay, so that's the end, and looky here, I have 3 left. So I'm going to mess around with it once again to add these 3 bills in. Like I said, or you can just tell the person, short 3 bills, but I see a couple areas where I can add it in, so I'm going to do so. Once again, I'm just going to speed it up until we get to the wrapping part. But if you see that little gap right there, I'm gonna try to do something. Now, this is a warning. It's so much easier to do it in the beginning instead of trying to go back in and fix that. So I actually didn't have to fast forward. I just cropped that part out because it didn't look good recording like how I showed it. So, but here is my folding technique. So, hold on. So I just open it up halfway. I literally fold it over, and then I'll fold it over again. Sorry, I should already had that stuff out the way, but I had everything still on the table from when I was trying to show. So there's the paper. Fold it like to where that triangle piece would be in the middle of the ending of the line going across. And then I'll fold it again so that the end from the triangle piece goes to the other side. And then you'll see the little flap that it makes. So I just do 2 folds. There's probably a better way to do this, and I might watch a couple people's videos just to see if there's another technique that I can learn, or if you know some techniques that you saw from other people that you think might be a little easier than this. You can always leave it in the comments. I just haven't had time to look at other things, but I'm always willing to learn little gems, little, things that could help or things that would make it look better. So if you know any, feel free to leave it in the comments too. Thank you. So I'll usually use 4 sheets of this, and then a sheet at the bottom. So same technique, and I did decide to use the 2 colors. Now here's the part. I bought these pins so I can pin it. They're very thin. I maybe should have got the ones that have the little ball on the end. Like when you go to get alterations or to seamstress or tailor, they got those pins. But we'll see how this works. So when I do the cone, I pin or tape these in place. And here's where the size of the stick matters. Because if you look where I have this at, it's definitely up too close to the top. Now, if I had them sticks that are a foot long, yes. But these are 8 inches, and that 4 inches, lack of 4 inches definitely makes a difference. So you could just watch this. You'll see that I mess up, and then I'll come back in when I'm refixing it. So after I pin and tape everything together, I'm going to undo this. So this is a good learning tool to remember before you start taping stuff or before you get too far. How about flip it over so you can see where the paper's at and you won't have to do it. But, you know, you live and you learn, so. All right, so here it comes. Me flipping it over and realizing, hold up, wait, that is not right. And you really can't see it, but what it is there's too much paper coming over the flowers. So what did I do? I just unpinned it. The good thing about double-sided tape is, you know, it can come off. So I unpin these all and I'm going to move them down. Even though it doesn't look like I'm moving them down, I'm moving it further down the cone. And honestly, when I looked at it again, I probably could have moved it down a little more, but, you know, I'm not going to be too worried about it because it didn't look as atrocious as the first one. And the first one probably really wasn't bad, but just me and how I am, it's just something that I wouldn't have been able to be okay with. So here I am correcting it, and it's not a big deal. One thing, and that's kind of why I wanted to show this in this video, just so you could really see the process, you know, and see if stuff doesn't go as planned. It's okay to dust yourself off and try again. And you see me this time, look, I checked. So I'm like, okay, all it took was a second, a flip over. I think I was just like excited about recording, like, oh yeah, like this is going to be so fun, you know. Got a little above myself. And what I'm doing is I'm putting tape over. I taped the bottom part of the cone, like where the pins are at, just to help them stay in place. And it kind of helps that flare out. But yeah, the double-sided tape is on there. I just reconfigured it. You know, you got to spread the paper out. And then when I flipped it right side up, you'll see that I'll readjust it some more. But this is a way better look. So now I'm messing with the happy birthday toppers. I think that one was too big for this look. So the smaller one definitely will work better, and I'll let you see. But this is just me messing around with the butterflies and how I apply them. I put the glue dots on the back of the happy birthday, the smaller one, and just propped it up on a flower. And then the butterflies, they came with like a double-sided tape, but it's like more elevated, so you just put that on the back of that too.